The hallway was dim, quiet. I knew my mother wouldn't be back for hours. I was ready to lie on my bed, maybe stretch out in the sunlight and scroll mindlessly through my phone. Just a lazy afternoon, just me. Or so I thought. As I pushed open my bedroom door, I immediately stopped. My heart stuttered in my chest. There, lying on my bed like he belonged there, was Daniel. My neighbor, the guy who had moved in 2 weeks ago. He was stretched out comfortably, arms behind his head, eyes half closed as if he'd just drifted into a nap. His white t-shirt clung to his chest, and his jeans were slightly unzipped at the waist, as if he'd been trying to relax completely. I cleared my throat, my fingers instinctively tightening the towel around me. He looked up, startled for a second, then pushed himself up on his elbows. "Oh, hey," he said, blinking. "Your mom's friend, my aunt, told me you weren't home. She said I could wait here until my mom arrived." I just stared at him, still standing in the doorway, dripping slightly onto the wooden floor. "She told me the house was empty," he added quickly. "I swear." I exhaled, tension giving way to curiosity. "And you just made yourself at home?" I said, raising a brow. He chuckled sheepishly and sat up more. "I mean, the bed was right there. I figured 10 minutes of quiet wouldn't hurt." A grin tugged at the corners of my lips despite myself. Lucky me. I get out of the shower and find a man lying in my bed. "You're not exactly making it easy to apologize," he said, eyes flicking briefly to the towel clinging to my hips. I took a slow step into the room, pretending to grab a brush while keeping an eye on him through the mirror. His gaze followed me. I felt it like a slow burn across my back, down the curve of my hips. I sat at the edge of the bed next to him, crossing my legs slowly, letting the towel shift slightly higher on my thighs. "So, Daniel, you always nap in girls' beds when they're not home?" He let out a soft breath. "Only when they come out of the shower looking like you." A rush of heat bloomed in my chest. That simple sentence, said with such casual honesty, sent a thrill through me. I leaned in, brushing my fingers lightly over his forearm. His skin was warm, smooth. He didn't flinch, just watched me, his expression unreadable. I sat at the edge of the bed next to him, crossing my legs slowly, letting the towel shift slightly higher on my thighs. "You're definitely not tired anymore. I wonder why," he said, eyes locked on mine. The towel over my chest had loosened. I knew it, he knew it, but he didn't move, neither did I. The moment had a gravity of its own. I leaned in, barely a whisper away from his lips. "If you really want to leave, now's your chance." He didn't answer. Instead, his hand came to rest on my thigh, firm but gentle. I let my legs fall slightly apart, inviting. My breath hitched. When our lips finally met, it was heat. His kiss was soft but deep, growing more urgent by the second. His hand moved higher, my towel slipping completely now, leaving my skin bare beneath his fingers. I felt his other hand cradle my jaw as he deepened the kiss, his thumb brushing across my cheek. I reached down, tugging at the hem of his shirt, lifting it over his head in one slow motion. His chest was firm, his skin hot under my palms. I kissed along his jaw, his neck, feeling the tremble in his breath. He lay back, pulling me on top of him. I straddled him, my towel forgotten on the floor. My fingers ran down his stomach, to the button of his jeans, slowly undoing it. He watched me with a look that was somewhere between awe and hunger. "Sure?" he asked, huskily. "I've never been more sure of anything," I whispered. We undressed each other with quiet urgency, discovering skin like it was treasure. Every touch, every kiss was deliberate, exploring, testing, savoring. My body moved over his like I'd known him forever. His hands held my hips, guiding me gently, letting me take control and then take it back. When he entered me, it was slow, deep, intense. My breath caught, and we both paused, eyes locked, hearts racing. He kissed me again, slower this time, our bodies moving together in rhythm, in rising waves of pleasure and intimacy. The room felt charged, thick with heat, every breath shared. There were no words, only gasps, the creak of the mattress, the wet press of skin on skin. He held me like he needed me, and I responded like I had waited for him. We lost track of time. When it was over, I collapsed onto his chest, both of us still catching our breath, skin damp, sheets tangled. Daniel brushed a strand of hair from my face. "Still want me to leave?" he asked softly. I laughed, burying my face into his neck. "Only if you plan on coming back tomorrow." I woke up before he did. The morning light was soft and golden, slipping through the cracks in the curtain and falling across his bare chest. His arm was still around my waist, holding me close, as if he was afraid I'd disappear in the night. My leg was still draped over his, our skin warm beneath the tangled sheets. For a long moment, I just watched him. His lashes, darker than I expected, cast delicate shadows over his cheeks. His lips were slightly parted, his chest rose and fell in a slow, peaceful rhythm. There was something both quiet and magnetic about him when he slept, like all the heat of yesterday had melted into something deeper, softer, but still dangerous. I moved carefully, trying not to wake him, but as I shifted my weight to sit up, his hand tightened slightly on my waist, and his eyes opened slowly. "You leaving already?" he asked, voice rough with sleep. I smiled. "Just stretching." He blinked a few times, then smirked as he looked me over, my bare back, the curve of my hips as the sheet slid down, the way the morning light traced the outline of my body. "You always look like this in the morning?" "Like what?" "Like trouble." I laughed softly and turned to face him. "You're one to talk. You broke into my room, remember?" He shrugged, sliding a hand up my thigh, fingertips grazing slowly over my skin. "And I paid for it, in the best way possible." His touch was gentle but deliberate, not rushed like last time, no urgency now. Just a slow, intentional exploration. My body responded before my mind could even catch up. The way his thumb brushed just under the curve of my hip, the way his eyes darkened as he watched my reaction. I leaned in to kiss him, slower than before, deeper. This time there was no nervousness, no hesitation, only hunger, familiar now, but somehow even more intense. He sat up, wrapping his arms around me and pulling me into his lap. The sheet fell completely. I didn't bother covering myself. His hands found my back, my sides, my waist. His lips trailed from my neck to my collarbone, down to my chest, kissing, tasting. His breath was hot against my skin. "I still can't believe this happened," he murmured. "Believe it," I whispered back, pressing my forehead to his. And then I started to move. Slowly, deliberately, I shifted my hips against him, teasing, grinding, building that delicious tension again. His hands clutched my waist harder, his jaw clenched. I could feel him grow beneath me, hard and ready, restrained only by the fabric of his boxers. He laid back again, letting me take control. I leaned down, kissed along his stomach, lower and lower, until he gasped softly. I took my time, tracing the lines of his body, listening to every sound he made. When I finally slipped him free from the last piece of clothing between us, he was already pulsing in my hand. And I didn't stop there. I wanted to drive him crazy. I wanted to feel his breath hitch, his muscles tense, his control slip. I kissed him lower, slower, letting my tongue tease him until he muttered my name through clenched teeth. When I climbed back on top of him, his hands grabbed my hips like he couldn't wait a second longer. But we did take our time. This wasn't frantic like before. This was deeper, hotter. We moved together slowly, rhythmically, savoring every inch, every sound, every sensation. He filled me completely, and I rolled my hips in smooth, steady circles, feeling every pulse, every shiver between us. We didn't speak. We didn't have to. Every breath, every moan, every whispered gasp was a word. His hands roamed my back, my thighs, gripping tightly when the waves grew too strong. I leaned down, our foreheads touching, eyes locked as I moved faster, chasing that delicious release. And when it hit us, when the tension snapped and our bodies gave in, we clung to each other like it was the only thing keeping us grounded. We collapsed into the sheets, tangled, sweaty, breathless. After a while, he ran a hand through his messy hair and turned to me. "So, is this your idea of hospitality?" I smiled, brushing a finger over his lips. "Depends. Planning on overstaying your welcome?" He pulled me into him, his voice low and wicked in my ear. "I hope so."